What's up, everybody? Today we're going to finally be getting that front radiator condenser assembly off, and we'll finally get to see the alternator. Now there are a lot of bits that we have to get off before we actually start tackling the alternators. A lot of things like the serpentine belt, the tensioner is unique on this vehicle. A bunch of little hoses and other contraptions I've never actually seen on a vehicle before. If it looks like I'm just being stuck on the same thing, it's because I am. There are a lot of things to take off behind this radiator assembly. Right now I'm working on the hood latch, and if you can, you got to be very careful. I understand some people have done this job before, and I don't know exactly where they live, but their plastic wasn't as brittle as mine. I ended up breaking the plastic housing to the hood latch using a tool that was just a little too hard. But I would recommend that you just push this thing brute strength with your fingers, and you have less chance of breaking the housing. Now, removing the hood latch is a little challenging. It was easier when I tilted the unit forward, and kind of pushed at an angle, because the fans are right underneath it. There's barely any clearance to get this thing out, but you can get it out. And unfortunately, you have to put it back in the same way. You got to kind of tilt it. It's hard to explain, but when you're there looking at it, you'll know what I mean. You have to tilt it so that it avoids the fans while simultaneously pushing and pulling at the same time, and it'll come loose. All right, now that we have the hood latch disconnected, it's time to disconnect the wiring to the fans, and that will be found on the bottom. There's also another fan wiring connector at the top, but I removed that earlier on once I removed the air intake and stuff like that. So hopefully you did the same, but just look for the connectors. Just know when it comes to the fans, there too. Another thing to note when it comes to separating the connector from the radiator assembly, it is connected by, like it's attached to the actual housing. So you're going to need to pop that out, is what I'm doing right now. Next up, I prepared my wood stands that I made to hold the carrier. And I'm calling the carrier the radiator assembly, but that's what's called a carrier. And I put and I also slid the container over there, because when I move the carrier, it's going to have that lower hose disconnected. I'm not sure if I disconnected it yet or not, but I have it there to catch any coolant that might come out of the radiator. And there's still a lot of coolant in that radiator. And once I moved everything into position, it's time to now figure out why this thing is still not coming off. Well, there is a long pipe that generally rusts out. I replaced this before, but it's a really unique situation. I don't even remember doing this before, but it's held attached to the carrier using 3 T20 screws. I don't even know if I put all of them on there, because it was almost impossible the last time around to get that third screw in there. I think I just have one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side, then there's another screw in the middle. I think I skipped the one in the middle, but as long as you at least have 2 in there, it'll be fine. But you're going to want to unscrew those as well, and that's what I'm doing now. And finally, the last thing I'm doing is disconnecting another wire harness. This one is, I believe, the one for the hood latch electronics. It's also connected by one of those little metal brackets that grip onto the carrier. So you want to knock that out the same way I showed you in the previous video. And it's off. Yay! Now look. So if you guys think that this was a lot, you have seen Nathan yet? Okay. So now what we have to do is get rid of that bar right there. And then we'll have access to serpentine belt and the alternator right down there. All right, so doing the driver's side of getting that bar that protects the engine off was a little more difficult. I think I had to use like manual ratchets to get that off, but it was just 2 bolts. I ended up getting it off though, and I ended up using one of those extensions that wobbles. But really what I could have done was just simply push the carrier back up towards the car, and then I would have had a direct view of of the bolts, and I could have just loosened them up then with a power tool. All right, so we're moving right along here. I finally got that little bracket off. I ran into some trouble over there because all this stuff in the way. I had to move this hose out of the way and just, resort to manual tools and getting funky with it. Now, as you probably see in the lower left-hand corner here, there's a lot of green. That compressor is very green. I'm not sure how long. I don't even know what that's about. It looks bad though. Moving on around to the front, we also see that there's a little green here. I'm personally of the mind right now to just leave it alone, and I will, just keep topping it off. If it comes to it where I have to top it off too much, then I'll cross that bridge then. If not, then we'll just leave it alone. So that's that. Now, another thing. So right here, initially, I thought that this was a big issue because this tensioner first of all, looks terrible. But more than that, it looks as though its ridges have just been completely smoothed out over the course of time. Now, after I made this video, I went back in to see how much a new tensioner will cost. More than I want to spend. This thing is not even, these not even nickels and dimes that this thing keeps costing me. It's hundreds of dollars each part. Like, I end up getting a water pump. Rock Auto has one from a company, API, I think, and it's only $26 for clearance. But I've seen stories of people's API products going out after a few months, and I'm not doing all this stuff again. So I just went on there, broke down, got another Volkswagen water pump, and it was $227. All right. So another tensioner is like $140 or something like that, and I'm not buying one. Anyway, when I was looking at the newer tensioners, they were completely smooth. So the fact that this even has these little lumps and bumps is quite normal. I looked up some more on eBay and looked at some other people's stuff. This is factory. This is fine. And actually, the new genuine ones don't have any ridges at all. So don't be alarmed by this if you get to this step. Look at this thing. It's huge. It takes up all of the space. So the only thing left to do now is take the serpentine belt off. I also have to figure out how I'm going to get this thing off. I want to be careful because it's plastic, it's cold, and it's old. And so plastic typically gets brittle. It unsnaps here, but I obviously tried that and it wouldn't budge. So I think I'm just going to unscrew it from here. It's a screw here and on the other side, and then just pull it off. And for these, likely just unscrew them and then just take off the bracket and pull it off. I got to see what's going on that side. Well, let's go look at it. I can't even see it. That thing goes to, it comes all the way around here actually. So I'm not going to do all of that. That's likely air for the air suspension. I don't know. But what we're going to do is just unhook it from here, and then just hopefully it'll fall down. I'm gonna have to get under there to see if this just can go down underneath here somewhere, and we'll get that out of the way, and then we can go ahead and pull this alternator out. It's just two screws. It's one there and it's one there, and then I should be able to pull it out some, and then gotta reach around back to get to those coolant lines back there. There's 2 of them, and then we should be good money. Then I'm going to have to I'm going to swap this out because I got the actual appropriate part. So I'm not going to leave that like that and leave that pipe in there. I'm going to take all that out and replace that as well. And then it'll be a matter of putting her back together. But I'm going to have to see how much one of those pulleys costs. It seems as though as I'm dragging this out, I apologize, it's not as action-packed or entertaining as a lot of other YouTubers' videos, but that is not my goal here. Because this process is not documented in detail anywhere, I'm trying to do just that, document every step of the way. This is one of the hardest things I've ever done when it comes to cars, and I've stripped cars completely bare before and completely redid the interiors. I have never done anything this challenging before, and it's a lot of little bits that some of the write-ups you'll find on VW Vortex just frankly skip, and they're very important. So I want to make sure I just illustrate how tough this job is. I'm not trying to discourage anyone, but it'll be a lot easier if you knew all the steps that were involved.